This episode brought to you by these awesome patrons and members. Do you want a chance to win this Apple IIc computer? Keep watching to find out how. Warm up the CRT, it's time for another episode. So Rudy of Rudy's Retro Intel gave me a phone call.
Hey, it's ringing. Hey, Joe. It's Rudy from Rudy's Retro Intel. How you doing?
So he had an awesome idea to take an Apple IIc, fix it up, clean it up, and give it away to our viewers. We took up that challenge and did just that. Rudy did his part, shipped it to Javier, and Javier's done his part. He's now shipped it to me, and I have this box. So let's open up this box and see what's inside. Okay, let's see what's in this big box from Javier Rivera. I'm sure he packed this very, very well. He is a stickler for packing vintage computers correctly. And I believe he recently made a video about that, about packing videos correctly. So I'll put a link to that in the thing up there for you. So let's see here. Yep, lots of bubble wrap, lots of styrofoam, lots of layers. That's what's very important. In addition, he always likes to put little pool noodles or something like that in the corners to protect the corners of the device being shipped. That is very important. Come on out of here, you. Came with the power box too. All right, let's sit this down, unwrap it, and take a look. Here is this beautifully cleaned up Apple IIc in all its glory. Now the first thing that we notice is how wonderfully bright and clean and brand new looking that this is. Of course, we expect nothing less from Javier, the Retro Great Master. He did an absolutely crazy good job at making this old Apple IIc look pristine. For example, here's my Apple II Plus. And you can see, yeah, there is a huge color difference there. This guy is super, super good looking. So to take a look at what Javier did with that, I'll put a link in the doobly-doo up there, down there, up there, wherever, to his video of him taking this thing apart, piece by piece, retrobrighting it and putting it all back together. But I want to dig into the guts of this machine and take a look at the inside and see how clean the inside is, because that's what Rudy did. Rudy really did clean up the machine and do a lot of work to that. So let's do that. Now we have to take this apart. We have to be very careful with the front. There's a little catch in here that you need to use a little spudger to prop open so that you don't break that little the little nub off. Uh-oh. It was already broken off. Uh-oh. Well, it must have. Something must have happened in shipping, and that is possible when you open and close these cases a lot of times. This plastic can be kind of brittle through its age, and the little tab here can snap off. It's probably laying down underneath the keyboard here somewhere, but let's continue taking the machine apart. Just kind of wiggle, wiggle, wiggle a little bit. The back comes off. Sometimes it can be a little tricky. There we are. That's all removed. Well, let's look underneath the keyboard, see if we can find that little thing, little missing bit. Yep, there it is. There is the missing bit that fell off from this. Oh, that happens sometimes. I'm sorry. And yeah, so here's the thing that I sent to Rudy originally. This is one of my Apple IIc or Universal Apple II keyboard encoders. His original encoder in this had failed, and he got one from me, so he put that new encoder in there to fix that problem. And we're going to pop the keyboard out so we can look inside. Man, that machine just looks pristine and super clean. That is so beautiful. But we're not done with that, because Rudy did his part by fixing the keyboard, and then Javier did his part by retrobreaking the machine. But I need to do my part. I need to add something to this wonderful machine. So what we're going to add is a no slot clock. So I'm going to go ahead and change angles, and we'll show the installation of a no slot clock in there. So here's the no slot clock that I'm going to be putting in this machine. This is a standard no slot clock from Reactive Micro, but you'll notice I've made a few custom modifications myself. I've removed the battery, and on the extra little battery tabs that Henry has very graciously designed into the circuit here, I have added an external battery holder. This will make it really easy for you to replace batteries, because you can just use standard off-the-shelf batteries. And two, these are AA batteries, and their lifetime is insanely long. So it means you're going to have to open up this machine a lot less frequently to replace the battery on it. So the installation process for the no slot clock is really simple. We just take the original ROM chip out, put the clock in, put the chip on top of it, and put it all back together. So we'll do that now. Alright, so let's get the original ROM chip out of here real quick, or I should say the upgraded ROM chip that Javier so graciously provided. Then we're going to get the no slot clock in here. Important to match the little notch notification to the notch directions and all the chips that go that way. So that goes in there just on top like that. Then we put the original ROM chip on top of that. There we are. And then finally I need to find a place to tuck the battery box. So I think the battery box is just going to live right up there. It should fit underneath the keyboard. So let's kind of just shove the keyboard in here and see if that fits. Fumbly, fumbly, fumbly. And yep, it fits underneath there just fine. So then all I have to do is add a little bit of double-side tape to the back of that to keep it from moving around, and we should be good. All right, that's all in there, double-side taped in place, so it's not going to wobble around inside there. So now let's go ahead and get the keyboard put back in, and we'll get the machine put all back together. So there we are, all put together and done. So let's get it plugged in, hooked up to the monitor, and make sure that it works correctly. All right, let's put a disk in it, boot it up, and make sure that it works. Yep, it boots correctly. There we go, we got ProDOS 8 242, a nice new clean disk for you. No slot clock has the right date and time, and it's there. So now let's try typing in a basic program to see if we can test out our basic skills. Load basic.system here. It's blank. Okay, let's see. We'll do that, just some random number here. And then, yeah, go to 10, run. Seems to be working fine to me. Okay, so I have the machine rebooted here, and I'm going to use the NS clock utils to make sure that we can actually play with the clock settings. So that's loaded. We don't need to do the install NS clock system because the drivers are already installed on this disk, so let's go ahead and hit set the time. However, we already know that the date and time is correct here. As I'm recording this, it is about 9 in the evening on September the 1st, so that's good. And so, yeah, it's got all this, the settings there are correct. And we hit enter and it reset it to 9:16. Okay, yeah. We'll set it up a couple minutes. 9:18. Yep, it is working correctly. So that is super duper good. Now, about winning this Apple IIc and potentially some other little small prizes. Here's the trick. In order to get a chance to win this Apple IIc, a few things you got to do. One, go all the way back to Rudy's video, where he installed the keyboard encoder, and look for an 8-bit binary number hidden somewhere in his video. Then, watch Javier's video, where he did an excellent job of retrobreaking the machine, and look for an 8-bit number in his video. And then, Somewhere in this video right here, look for another 8-bit number. Jot all those numbers down and then look at the link in the description for the details of what to do with those numbers and how to enter the contest. You also want to read the rules and conditions of the contest in that link in the description as well, just to make sure we're all on the same page. At the end of the contest, we're going to pick a random name out of the hat for somebody to win this wonderfully refurbished, souped up, and like new Apple IIc computer. Enter today and I hope you win it! Thanks for hanging out with me today. Remember to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on my latest adventures. You can support the museum through Patreon or by snagging some merch at jcm-1.com. Links in the description. Well, that's all for today's episode. While you're here, check out the other 2 videos on this wonderful 8-bit machine by Rudy and Javier. And remember, 8 bits are all you need.